programs, your services. Thank you so much for all the speakers who came before me to share their part for the community they are doing. And like I cannot thank you enough for what work you are doing, and thank you everyone who is here in the room to hear us out. I'm a survivor, a client of Awas. As they said, Awas meaning voice. So yes, Awas gave me my voice. I suffered 13 years of domestic violence, sexual assault, and whatever you can name. If you go and see the power and wheel control chart, I suffered almost everything, and I have taken that chart again and again, and I'm like, there are missing things, I can add more to everything. And people usually say like, what you have survived, that's not what I survived, yours is more. And I'm like, abuse and trauma has no comparison. It is valid what you have been through. And just by sharing my story, I think I'm doing it from 2 years. Every time I share it, I get triggered. So I don't know when it is going to stop or not. So it takes like every time when I'm in between sharing my story, I get paused, I get triggered, I get dissociated. Because those flashbacks are so real, like at night time, I cannot sleep because they feel so real, and during the day, if someone asks me, I don't remember anything. So when someone was sharing, like I don't remember the part of my trauma, when it happened, I literally, so I can relate to that so very well. Like if someone asks me the details, I don't remember. But the moment I close my eyes, it feels so real, like it is happening again. People wake up to feel refreshed, and I wake up more tired because in my night time, I'm just running from those nightmares, and that is complex PTSD. And I didn't got it because of my lifestyle or because I was doing something. And we were using the word submissive, and today we are talking here about culture and how we women are told to be submissive. So I have seen like it is not just a Asian culture, also like it's a word. Those people who try to manipulate someone use it. It is this word is coming again and again in front of me, not just as a woman, in different religion also. From my personal experience, I was from a different religion and now I took another religion. That's my trauma response. People judge me over it like, oh, did it make your life better or what? And I'm like, it's my trauma response and I'm acknowledging that, and that's my personal choice, and I don't have to say anything about that. Even the people from my family, they confronted me or they were offended by me taking that step. That's just one thing that I changed my religion. I am the first one in my family, be it my parents' side or my in-laws' side, who got divorced. Like no one ever got divorced. So you can't even like think like how many cycles I have broken or every day I am breaking. I got divorced last year. My story is not like 10 years back or something. I was the client of Awas just last year. I got divorced, lifetime protective orders. 10 days back, my father sent me a message before my event where I was traveling to another state to speak about the topic. Can you please stop posting your videos or talking about this? It hurts us. And I called him and I'm like, if I'm not going to speak it, it will happen with someone else. So please never say that to any survivor. It's not just to me. I'm offended by that. Like you were okay when I lived in the shelter in unknown country for 1 year with 2 kids without any support. The only support I got from organizations like Awas, FPPS and other local organizations. They were okay with that because I was away from their community, their society. They were living in their own world. But the moment I started sharing it publicly, they have issue and they are saying it hurts them. And I'm like, I don't know why it didn't hurt you when I was crying with blood. I was staying in parking lots. So that was the one thing. After 3 days, I received a text message from my middle school teacher. And his response was like, okay, we all know you have been through something. Now stop sharing about that. Move on in your life. Find a man from my middle school. You do that algebra equation every day, not to show others that you know it. You do it to teach others. The same way, I am sharing my story not to gain any sympathy. I am doing it to tell others like you are not alone. It can happen with anyone in any way, any place, in any situation. It is not like oh, that person is not educated, that's why maybe it happened because of the color or because of the skin. I was traumatized and abused in every possible way. He was 5'9", I am 5. I was going through it because of the height difference. I was one little shade darker than his sister. I was not good enough. Every day there were different reasons. And there was a time when I started believing that maybe if I do this, then maybe it will stop. And it went on for 13 years, and people usually ask me, so maybe it started after 3 years or 4 years. No, it was from the first day. And I was in the situation where I was actually helping other women, my neighbors or in the family, where I have provided money or like a first aid to other women. And I'm coming home and having all those things with me. So it's not like I started helping or advocating just now. That time also I was advocating, but I was going through myself. And now the question comes, what I went through, maybe it was emotional or financial. People look at me when I say this line, I survived 25 abortions and I am today 32 years old. I have permanent eye damage, I have 100 plus concussions on my head, I cannot drive. And every day, me as a survivor, I have to answer this question when people say, why don't you drive? Why don't you go and work? Why don't you make your life easy? Or find a man. And I'm like, I don't need to explain my story every day, but I'm okay. From 2 years, one of the reasons why I get nightmares, I recently realized this. Like, how many times people ask me about the good things in my life? No, I don't remember when was the last time a person asked me. Every day I am supposed to say and repeat my story only about the bad things happened with me in detail. And the reason why people don't want to report, because of this situation. When it happens, it happens. But people are scared to go through after the pain. We were talking about like it is on the victim when they want to report it or actually document it or go to the police. This is the reason. So why can't we make a safe space for them and stop re-traumatizing them or like just pinching them? The first shock I got when I was questioned from the investigator, a male, with camera on, video camera, and those questions were very personal because the case was sexual assault. I still remember that day. That pushed me 2 months in therapy. And I'm still trying to figure out which was more painful, the first time it happened or the last time it happened. The last time it was 2 years back. The first time it was in 2008. And I still can't like level them like which one was more painful. Only one thing I know, it was painful, it still hurts me, and I'm going to stand for myself. Now there was another question, how to recognize. For that I will say normal word is different for everyone. Every person sitting here, normal or good or bad, these words have different definitions for them. And we are living in a world of trauma responses. Everyone is acting or reacting based on their trauma responses. The world is going into a war, be it religious war or actual war or financial war, everyone is going through some trauma. And trauma is the reason for the behavior, but it is never any excuse for that behavior. And domestic violence, when we talk about domestic violence, I was sitting there and telling someone, Why it is domestic violence? Because it happens in that intimate location or a house or like four walls, a safe place. And it turns into domestic violence when the safe place becomes the scariest place for the other person and stays the safe place for one person. And how it comes in the nature. And for that, I will give you one example. Two people live in the same house. It doesn't matter they are husband or wife or siblings. Both of them feel the safe, and they have one has some trauma, and that person try to show that control or power on the other person because that person feel like this is my safe place. I can do whatever I want here, and this okay, maybe the frustration from the office or outside. And that, when crosses the line, becomes the unsafe place for the other person. Then it is called domestic violence. When a person is scared to go inside the house. I have been in that situation, and sometimes also still now in the evening, I just walk out my house and I start walking on the street because I feel safe there. People, when they want to hide from the rain or thunderstorm or anything, where they go? They go in the house. For me, it's opposite. I go outside. Whenever I feel scared, even in the midnight, I just go outside and stand outside. Because I have been in those places like where I have spent nights in parking lot or just random places with two kids, like leaving my house and staying there. I still have that. So we need to work together to change these parameters. And if we say like this is not my part, oh this is someone's personal thing, I don't have to, and like you never know when it can affect you, because if that person is abusing that person, you never know when it will come to you. So we have to act on it as one. That's all I wanted to say. If anyone has any question, please let me know.
Powerful words, I think we can all agree. We've heard some amazing stories today. We've learned a lot from our panels today. It's been, at times, there have been moments of humor, but there's been a lot of darkness and heavy topics that we've covered. So I want to end today on a positive note. Everyone should have some Post-its in front of them. If you have a pen, you can use that, or a Sharpie. I pass some of those around. I want you to jot some thoughts. And I put some poster boards on the wall where you can put those thoughts. And the first one that says hopeful. If you feel hopeful about anything in the future, write that down, put it on that poster. Maybe check in with us, tell us how you're feeling. And it's okay to feel despair, it's okay to feel sadness, but maybe you also feel motivated, maybe you feel empowered. Please write those feelings down. And then the last poster board is a question, how do you plan to use what you've learned today moving forward into the future? So I'm happy to cut my closing remarks down to the bare minimum to give you time to do this activity. So I'll give you about 10 minutes. And if you could please just go ahead and walk up and put those post-its up there, that would be amazing. Thank you.